Watch this video, and I'll be right back.
Candidate Mark Burns in South Carolina's 4th District, a Trump ally, just called for the execution of all LGBTQ and trans people. He lays out exactly how he would see a genocide legally done against this population. Watch this.
The LGBT, transgender, grooming our children's minds is a national security threat. That's why when I'm elected, I don't want to just vote. I want to start holding people accountable for treason. I am going to push to reenact HUAC. HUAC is the House of Un-American Activities Committee. We need to hold people for treason, start having some public hearings, and start executing people who are found guilty for their treasonous acts against the Constitution of the United States of America.
You know what, South Carolina? This is our guy.
South Carolina, are you paying attention? Is everyone paying attention? This rhetoric that's coming out of these motherfuckers' mouths, just freely talking about executing people. Y'all better get out there, register to vote, and vote. They are telling us what they want to do. Are we going to pay attention or not? And to all the Christians out there who aren't saying shit, who's sitting back and letting these pastors get on TV talking about executing humans, you're complicit and the blood will be on your hands. Get up and start talking. Because according to your Bible, it's supposed to be love thy neighbor, not execute those who don't believe what you do.
The video I'm about to show you is Pastor Mark Burns. Burns was running for the 4th Congressional District of South Carolina as a Republican. This is from an interview on the Stu Peters Show, edited for time, not content.
The LGBT, transgender, grooming our children's minds is a national security threat because it is ultimately designed to destabilize the republic. That's why when I'm elected, I don't want to just vote. I want to start holding people accountable for treason to the Constitution. We need to hold people for treason, start having some public hearings, and start executing people who are found guilty for their treasonous acts against the Constitution of the United States of America, just like they did back in 1776.
You'll be happy to know he lost the GOP primary to incumbent Representative William Timmons, who isn't exactly an ally either. But the fact that Burns got almost 24% of the votes is chilling. They're not just saying the quiet parts out loud. It's the platform they're literally preaching from.
I'm glad that he lost. But 24%? That I should be executed for being with my girlfriend, for living my life. 24%.
On Oz willingly called for violence against members of the LGBTQ community.
Where are the Christians at? Where y'all at? Why aren't you denouncing this man? As a Christian, unless you agree with this, you ought to be screaming to the fucking rooftops that this is not a representation of the Christian church. So where are y'all at? I'm convinced y'all agree with this man. I've seen the video of this pastor or a response video to this pastor every day for the last week at least. And the responses that I've seen have been from queer folks, scared shitless. So where's Joel Osteen when you need him? Somebody with a voice that is a leader in the Christian church should be speaking about this. Because I'm going to tell you what, I can guarantee you right now, there is some knucklehead making plans based off of this video. We got Pride this month. I don't even want to go. Some well-known Christians should be speaking out. That's it.
To be lined up against the wall and shot in the back of the head.
Now I'm going to start this by saying in no way am I trying to rain on anyone's literal parade. At all. But if you change one word in that disgusting spew from homosexual to unvaccinated, well then he's talking about me. Just like the rest of Canada and the US and the world is, because that's what their governments are telling them to do. Just like they did with you. And it doesn't feel very good, I'll tell you. It doesn't feel good to know that people hate you and threaten your life and literally will walk up to you and spit on you because you chose to be the ruler of your own body.
Choose. That's the word. The key word. Choose. You made a choice not to take the vaccine, regardless if what your choice was doing was going to affect others around you. See, that's a choice that you made. Being in the LGBTQIA plus community is not a choice. It's who we are. We are born this way. The fact that you can make it about yourself because you decided to make a choice not to take a vaccine that saves lives is the audacity for me. It's the audacity for me. Now you show me a video of a pastor, a politician, saying they're going to execute you for your choice not to take a vaccine. The audacity you have. At the end of the day, you are privileged. Remember that. Choice. Key word.
Sitting here getting my fat bitch on. As my sister Mia says, watch this, and I'll be right back.
She lined up against the wall and shot in the back of the head.
Well, I'm going to start this by saying in no way am I trying to rain on anyone's literal parade. At all. Don't. If you change one word in that disgusting spew from homosexual to unvaccinated, well then he's talking about me.
No, he's not talking about you, you ignorant mullet. The unvaccinated are also not the same as Holocaust victims.
Nope.
Which you have also tried to compare yourself to. You had a choice. You had a choice to believe conspiracy theories that you saw on YouTube, or actually listen to real science. You had a choice to get the vaccine or not. When you're a member of the Alphabet Mafia, you're born that way.
Exactly.
Whether you want to believe it or not. And we're the ones he's talking about lining up and shooting in the back of the head. Oh, but she doubles down in her next video. Listen to this.
Started taking away our jobs. And they started taking away our careers. And they started taking away our rights and freedoms to be able to go and visit people in the hospital, visit people in other countries, visit people in other provinces, be able to take any kind of transportation that would take us outside of our country.
Because you're putting lives in danger.
Those are consequences for your choice.
Thank you.
To not get vaccinated, you potato. You didn't have your jobs taken away. You were given the option of getting vaccinated, possibly getting a reassignment, but they don't have to accommodate you. So that was your choice.
Facts.
You weren't being fired just for existing as a queer person.
Thank you.
And you want to be allowed to visit people in the hospital, and you're not vaccinated.
Exactly.
What sort of twisted, fucked up logic is in your tiny little peanut brain? That makes absolutely no sense. Oh yeah, I'm not vaccinated. I'd really like to visit my friend on the oncology ward. You turned yourself into a typhoid Mary.
Thank you.
By your own choices. This is not the same.
Not the same.
As being part of the queer community.
Thank you.
Or a Holocaust victim.
Thank you.
You made your choices. And now you don't like the consequences. Have the life you deserve.
Okay, Christians, here's the deal. Since it seems like some of us still haven't gotten the memo, Homophobia, transphobia, racism, white supremacy, sexism, misogyny. These ideologies are heresies. They deny the image of God in our neighbor, and if you preach them from the pulpit, you are the definition of a false prophet and a liar. And for all of you good middle-of-the-road Christians who just don't want to get involved and, you don't believe those things, but you don't want to speak up and condemn them, well, guess what, Cupcake? You are the very definition of the lukewarm Christians that Jesus talks about in Revelation 3:15 and 16, and talks about spitting out of his mouth. So you might want to take a side here. The time for neutrality is long past. You do not get to remain neutral in the face of the oppression of your neighbor. You must take a stand. And as for me, I choose to stand with Jesus. Here endeth the lesson.
You mean after all the misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, xenophobia, racism, white supremacy, women's rights abuses, slavery, slaughter of non-converters, destruction of societies, uninvited missionaries sticking their nose into cultures where they don't belong, violence, forgiven church leaders with swept under the rug pedophile cases, all at the hands of a whitewashed, unproven mythology with an infrastructure solely built to keep rich, pale, straight males in power? No. I don't respect anything that claims to be all about love, but in practicality shows us nothing but hate.